Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Mask of the Rose. We've pretty much solved the murder, to be honest. We've had a couple of confessions that, you know, confirm what happened. I think we need to put them in this... maybe I already did the story crafter. We don't really know his purpose yet, do we? What did he want? I don't really know what he wanted, to be honest. I'll put fought over Rachel in here for now. Oh no, she hadn't fought. No, he hadn't fought Phoebe. He fought David. I think we'll stick with unknown purpose on... It's tricky. Let's stick with unknown purpose just for now, because I don't think any of those quite fit, but we might inexplore... Because what Milton wants proof that if he dies, if he's executed, that he'll come back. He doesn't want to die permanently, so... We could go to Virginia for help. He wants someone from the 4th city, so I think Barkjin could be a good one. That's where she's from, isn't it? I mean, we could go everywhere. Everywhere's got something. I do want to take Batachi Khan's amber as well. But we could do that when we return, couldn't we? Let's do ferret first. Give the amber, and then we'll head back down and talk to Barkjin about the murder. Wearing Algernon, there's always the risk the two of them will be thick as thieves, and I won't get a word in. No, it's fine. Algernon's our... It pleases Ferret, though, seeing their old friend. Yeah. Algernon is going to be our permanent companion now, I've decided.
Oh, you've brought back Algie.
Hold this. Could you hold this a minute?
What the blinking hell is this?
I'm not saying no...
Oh, I'm not saying no, mind you. Held worse in the sewers, and this was before the fall. Do you remember the Great Stink? I do. I was there. You mind your mouth before you say anything smart like I was literally about to say maybe he caused it. Now, I can tell you the smell was worst behind Disraeli's door. Now, are you going to tell me what this is?
Be truthful. See what he does. It comes from a rubbery man who lives in the caverns below London.
Christ alive. And he wants me to touch this thing, does he?
Ferret hesitates.
People that introduces themselves with a badge gets treated careful. Might not be done being careful where you're concerned. Begging your pardon, but I'd as soon as not. I've encountered a couple of glimpses slithering deep under the cellars. I'll take my chances not getting involved. Now, is there anything else you wanted? There's not a health risk to myself.
Oh. Guess we'll be off now. That's disappointing. I guess maybe I shouldn't have been honest about it. Because, Barkjin doesn't want me to give it to Ivy.
I want to see your pockets before you go then. Not nicked anything you shouldn't have done. Very well. Can't be too careful in these parts.
My opinion remains to be seen. Because they're the only two merchants I know of, right? Alright, let's go and look for Milton's remains with Barkjin. Yeah, we'll take that. He gave us the amber, didn't he, Batachi Khan? So we'll do that. Hey, it's love. It's good to see you. Batachi Khan burbles a greeting as well. Ask Barkchin about a devil named Tulchi. Did you know a devil in the last city with the name of Tulchi? How do you know that name? He is dead. No, you have encountered him. I remember the scent of rose and smoke. It clings to you like a miasma, which means something survived. You may be content to dig up monsters. I do not see why I should assist you in this error. Oh, it would mean a great deal to me if you can elaborate. You will regret the question, but since you ask, Tulchi was my opposition. I worked to preserve my state, my city. We enjoyed a concord of respectful animosity. He perished after I had left the city. I suppose it was too much to be hoped that he would have the decency to remain dead. He wishes to view his own corpse? It can be arranged. I think I can remember where he fell. Show him to the rubbery warrens. We will need to go to places deeper than you have been before. We will go without Batachikan. This is not his concern. I don't suppose you've made use of the amber. I'm still working on it. I have a few more matters to attend to. The efficiency of your city is demonstrated again. Barkjin considers whether there's anything to add. They watch me depart. I sense they wish I'd stayed, but were too cautious to ask. Perhaps they might welcome another visit in future. It is a long and treacherous road back through the caves. It's nearly time for supper. Straight to the table with Algernon.
I should tell you, well, perhaps you've already noted it. I can't tell what you notice and what you don't, but I don't leave the house anymore. I was trying until recently. Sometimes I'd dress to go out. I'd get my hat and put it on. And then I'd sit down a minute first, just for no reason. And then I wouldn't get up and go. Instead, I'd think of a reason to put it off to tomorrow. Or decide to ask someone else to go. As soon as I thought that, I'd take off my hat again. It always came as such a relief. It always felt better to stay here and protect the house. Make sure nothing else happened to anyone that lives here.
Express concern for her. I want to help you get outside again.
Oh, well, that's well meant, but no, I don't want to go outside again.
Ask if she wants to go out? But is that something you'd change if you could?
No. I see where you're going, but there's no number of layers that would get you there. Once or twice I did go out, and it made me cry a little. Seeing all the broken buildings, how everything had changed. The street names aren't what they used to be. I thought, better not to go back. Better to remember how it was and visit that place inside my memory. If anything, it's sharper than ever.
All right, help her clear up. Straight to sleep, I think. So tomorrow... I guess we go and see Ivy and then Milton, maybe. I get to the morning newspaper after Grizz is done with it. The headlines today read, Feline answering name of Pebbles, accused of carrying prisoners' messages from the HMS Ungulate. We haven't been to see Archie for a while. I mean, we will at some point, but we're still sort of in investigation phase. For me. What can we do there, though? We're kind of done with that, so... Yeah, let's actually find out some motives for Milton, because we've currently got that blank. It would be nice to know kind of what was going on with him. He's confessed to doing it. We don't know why, and I don't know if Harjit will accept it on that basis. And I don't want to have to guess, so... You find me taking counsel, and avoiding my house, which is full of things I would rather not remember. Lay out my theory. I still wonder whether the candles killed you. They weren't unusual in any way. They did smell of garlic for a moment when you snuffed them out. It was not unpleasant, or not very much so. I thought it must be whatever Phoebe added to make them cheaper and burn longer. I think Milton may have taken a hand in the matter. He might have decided to assist. I always supposed that if he posed any danger, it was to Rachel's good name or to her money. Mostly I imagined him burning the household with his undesired presence, endlessly smirking on a sofa. But to turn a hand to murder, I'm in greater danger than I guessed, if that's true, and his intentions towards Rachel must be very dire indeed. I've already relied on you a great deal, I must now trust you even more. If this is true, then I am only safe if he is brought to trial and dealt with there. More questions? Do you mind if I ask you some more questions? There are some things I don't understand. Better you than the news hounds, perhaps, but I'd still like to know what you think you can do with the answers. Service to Rachel. For Rachel's sake, I want the real culprits found, whoever they are. If that isn't Archie, then they might still be a danger to your whole household. Not everyone deserves help. I'll answer your questions on one condition. If you find that it was Archie, you'll tell the constable the truth. Whoever it was, you'll tell the truth. He does not, conveniently, appear to expect an answer. Talk about Milton's possible motives. We kind of know what Phoebe's thing was. Were matters between you and Milton so bad that he would have killed you? It's true I did not like him, and once I asked him what he intended towards Rachel. I've heard this. He did not seem angry, but he didn't exactly answer me either. He said a few words that I did not understand. They hung in the air like a solid thing. There are folk tales about the words of magical power. For a moment, no one says anything. I found afterwards that I didn't want to ask him about Rachel again. He certainly wasn't afraid of me. He may not even have disliked me very much. Afterwards, I only argued with Rachel about Milton, rather than the other way around. We might as well ask about Phoebe as we're here, in case she had different motives. Phoebe has admitted to me that she was involved. I put it to her, and she told me that she'd been in love with you, that she thought it would keep you from going away. He is silent for a long time, thunderstruck. Oh, there must be a mistake. We must go over it all at trial. Make sure. We might as well ask him about his romantic life. I mean, he's kind of said he's got nothing going on. Was there anyone who had strong feelings for you? Anyone who might have acted on them? There was Charlotte Carringham. We were engaged once. After the fall, she indicated a renewed interest. I didn't pursue the affair. I suppose Charlotte's husband may have been jealous if he knew about the letters that she wrote to me. I burned them. I did not reply. And she wrote to me once more just before I died, when the news of the surface had come. Suggests he may have found out. What if Lord Carringham somehow saw or got word of that letter? If he did, it must have reassured him, or at least the letter would have made clear that I am not his rival. It was a final retraction of everything she said before, apologizing, withdrawing all her promises to leave him and come to me. She cloaked it all, but her meaning was clear. As soon as there was any chance of escaping back to the surface and living there in wealth and comfort, she was reconciled again to her decision. She wanted me more than she wanted a cold cavern with Carringham, but she wanted Carringham's estates on the surface more than either of us. Offer some timeless wisdom. Time heals all wounds. Alright, no more questions. Yeah. Before I died, I couldn't eat because my stomach would not let me. Now I feel well enough, but there are still days, many days, when the sight of supper makes me feel sick, or sends my heart rate up in fear that I'll be poisoned a second time. Rachel has to taste all my food for me, nights like that. More timeless wisdom. Everything happens for a reason. Off for now. Farewell. We should bring this visit to a close. Everything is always running too slowly, and yet every day is the same. One more errand. Sent adulterous letters. No, that's not the motive I wanted. I wanted something from Milton. I still don't really get him and his actual motive. But I think we go to him now and talk about going down to see his corpse. This is our outfit now, unless I feel strongly otherwise.
Hello. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Tell Milton I've discovered someone who can locate his corpse. I know of someone who can help you. That is, someone who knows where your dead body is.
A sentence to put a snap in anybody's step. I shall furnish myself with my coat and cane. I doubt I perished anywhere agreeable. Lead on. I'm eager to learn what had become of me. What a singular location, though not what I'd have chosen for myself. But evidently once I did, or had the choice made for me.
Footsteps, a lantern, the sound of curses beneath hushed breath. Barkjin approaches. The devil, here to see his corpse, I presume.
What a brusque creature you are, and undoubtedly resourceful to have survived the fourth.
The circumstances sharpened my resolve.
Oh, my condolences. The end of a city is an untidy business. But did we know each other before, in that city? I lost more than I intended in the fall, I fear.
We do not know each other now. Come, it is a long walk and our breath better spent on getting there. We walk on for hours. After a long time in the dark, we come to a stop. We should rest a moment. I do not wish for the devil's wound to reopen from overexertion.
My what?
Encourage Barkjin to make this confession herself. Would it be helpful to explain what you mean? I could explain that as a diplomatic agent it was my business to know the devils in the Fourth. I could suggest that having been familiar with this particular devil's corpse, and being understandably unfamiliar with their funerary customs, naively assumed a continuity of form. But I know this devil. He would see through my obfuscations. One of his more annoying characteristics. I knew you before you were Milton. You worked in your embassy of brass in Porphyr and connived against my government, as I connived against yours. I came to know your movements, your methodology, as I knew the pace of my own heart.
110 beats per minute. You would make it go faster if you could.
You wish to linger in my city and know its history, its secrets. Poetry, you said. Politics, I thought. You lacked advancement on your own merits. I was in a similar position. My worth was overlooked. The details don't matter. The Fourth is long dead now. Recount them all the same. Not all of the Fourth is gone. Yes, you live amongst our ruins, as do I. Very well, for all the good it will do. Tulchi gave me intelligence against the Khatoon who ruled at that time, and who stifled my advancement in my career. In exchange, you wanted help in securing your own advancement.
I remember a gallery of painted faces, fogged breath on the wrong side of a mirrored pane.
Together we worked to pull down the Khatoon and all her hidden serpents. You had thought such an act would garner you your promotion, your death, you said. It was not forthcoming. You made clear, however, that I owed you for your help.
I imagine that must have been very satisfying for you.
In this self-serving
narrative.
You were not given the advancement you sought. You wanted me to expedite your promotion. Death, you said, was the only way. A devil who dies by his own hand is accorded no such privilege. Was it hard to kill a friend? I imagine it was hard to kill someone you were close to. In the abstract. But my training was unique.
I recall the Scriptoria offered their scribes a very liberal education.
I owed you a debt. I keep my promises. If I were more willing to help you than others, that is my affair. You used my smuggling contacts to bring you a rotten candle from hell. Large as a tuber, pale as a drowned corpse. It arrived in a palanquin, pulled by silver-shod horses whose manes were lambent flame. You carved it into an effigy of yourself, There were silks and samite around the places on which you made me inscribe. You guided my hand as I drew sigils around your forehead, across your chest, on the underside of your lips.
Oh, how very accommodating of me. And my death, I'm agog to know how you did it.
Once you had prepared yourself to your satisfaction, you bade me stab you with a knife of black glass. Around the pommel were further sigils, cold as frost on a mountain's back. I do not know what happened next. You made me look away. I remember only the sound of wings.
Oh, that's enough. I wonder if you could be induced to remember more clearly.
I do recall dressing the effigy, its flesh all waxy. When I pressed the nib of my pen into it, it sank.
Like butter, I imagine.
Like overcooked fish, the flesh breaking with each incision. You told me I had to read to it poetry. The death of King Gezar, the hidden kingdom whence he would return. The secret version of Jangar, where the king falls in paradise. You told me I must seek to instruct the effigy in all the things you ought to be, and reminded of all the conduct you had engaged in that would be best left behind. And what came next?
You've described one death. There was another. One nowhere near so neat.
No, it was not. It is not much further. We move deeper into the caverns. There is no end to the depths below London, it seems. The scent of resin grows stronger. Eerie phosphorescence illuminates our way. At last we emerge in a cavern where amber encrusts the walls. A wide pool of it sits at the centre.
Are we near? I'm starting to think I can hear the Z.
We are here.
And you have stashed my corpse where, exactly? Stuffed between stalactites? Concealed behind pillars of amber?
No, you are here. She gestures towards the pool.
What do you mean? In there?
But Tachikan and I kept watch when the city fell. We crept out to see what we could find. Before we retreated, we found you. Or some of you. I suppose you did not have warning that this was to come. I could not find an effigy amidst the pieces.
No, the masters denied us that courtesy. So you scooped me up and deposited me in here?
No, Torchi. We tried to perform the resurrection to the best of my recollection. The rubbery men are a collective. Together they dream of exile, their lost home, and 100 sunken things besides. I have been inducted into this communion. I thought with my memories of you we might substitute the effigy, commingle you with the chorus, recover what was lost.
I see. No, I don't see at all. You did this from the goodness of your heart?
Barkjin is silent. Her gaze is fixed upon the deep pool of floating amber. Milton needs to know what happened. I had stood vigil for him once. I was furious he had been so careless as to die again. There had been a debt between us. It was not yet paid. There, does that satisfy?
Oh, at least I do not think you were my enemy, Barkjin of the Fourth. Is there anything more to see than my discarded skeleton?
You shall dream of it. Come. The pool waits, serene as distant starlight. Barkjin produces a phial of honey, a sickly golden hue in the partial light. Take it. It is sweet as spun sugar and viscous as blood. My hackles rise as it washes down my throat. I see Milton drink, and Barkjin. And then they are gone, but by then I too am elsewhere. I float deep in a rubbery dream. The wash of the ocean overwhelms me. This is an ocean older and farther than any I have ever known. Distant stars wheel above me. Older generations lurk below. I see a place between two moons, casting light in hues of electric and melancholy I do not recognize. I'm not alone here. Figures float in the ocean above and below me. Barkjin, A choir of rubbery men. A devil's bones, ribs like a cathedral raised to the sky. They do not see me. I am a spyglass oscillating in the undertow. They swim in strange patterns, far away and moving farther from each other. Follow. I trace their movements in the dream. But Tachikan moves amidst a range of other rubbery men like a shoal. Green-skinned, they flash in the waves like scattered jade. They surround a corpse larger than they. A sound like singing emanates from the choir of rubbery men. It sounds as though it comes from very far away. Focus on the corpse. They hold it aloft. Its body is ruined, limbs pierced by stalactite and shale. I see horns, and nubs that suggest they might once have been wings. There is a skull of many eyes. One hand clutches a long string instrument made of devil bone. The rubberies draw amber along the corpse in resinous swirls. Bones melt, shift, and are resculpted. Tentacles do the work of fingers, but more dexterous. Tentacles move through, within, and beneath. The corpse stirs. It is not as it was. It will not remain. Already the rubbery men are lamenting. The devil rises, but not whole. So much sloughs away. Swirls of it drift in the ocean. The rubberies move after. The devil goes to find itself alone. I wake. Milton and Barkjin are beside me.
So, you botched my resurrection?
You stand before me, less handsome perhaps, but passable. I followed your instructions to the letter. It is not my fault that this time you were unprepared. Improvisation was necessary.
So instead you bisected me, split me from what was good about myself. Saints in Carnadine, I was beautiful. Magnificent. The timbre of my voice, the extent of my reach. My speech was music, my whispers song. What I willed, those that heard me danced. And now, I am thus.
I could have left you, smeared under the walls of the shrine of the blue heaven, a fitting end for one who had worked to see my city fall. I did not need to waste my time dragging your mangled pieces from the ruin. I did not need to beg the rubbery men to lend your voice to the chorus. I did not need to see the expression on your face as we succeeded, and know that we had not succeeded at all. I could have gone lifetimes without knowing you and been happier. Ask if Milton has all he needs. Was this what you needed to find?
Needed? Oh, quite the tonic. In your stories, the children often suffer disappointment when failing to measure up to their forebears. It was an emotion I failed to fully comprehend. But now I feel a curious kinship, having failed to live up to myself. I will say what is needed at your trial. I know how to prepare my way now, and make right what was done wrong. Do not interfere in Infernal's affairs again, Barkjin.
He makes for the cave mouth, indicating for me to follow. Barkjin remains behind, gazing into the pool. By now, Horatio will be wondering where I am. Straight to dinner.
There's something I meant to say to you. I need someone beside me who accepts that this is my choice.
Oh, I hope she's not going to kill herself. Someone who isn't trying... Oh, okay. It's about going outside, I think.
Someone who isn't trying to make me walk the neighborhood and go to church. Someone who isn't going to yank me out of my home by the roots. This house is mine. This street is mine. This attic joins other attics. Rooms forgotten elsewhere. Rooms lost from other houses come and join onto our hallways. We're far from lonely. We're growing all the time.
So it makes no difference to me, quite honestly. It does make a difference to me that you can't go out and that you don't.
Oh, don't say that. That's some kind of lie you have with yourself. You want to be kin to me. You want to choose to live alongside me, or choosing to share the real facts of my life. Make that choice with your eyes open, or don't.
All right, she was unhappy with that. Okay. We'll help her clear up, though.
Good of you, my friend.
Straight to sleep. We didn't... Milton's motivation is still... is still obscure to me. Grizz leaves me the newspaper after she's read everything of political import. The headlines today read, Swedish Zala's mission offers aid, sustenance to squid-faced men. Yeah. So look at our story crafter. I'm pretty good on Phoebe and this. I'm pretty good on... Did he exhume the corpse? Oh, I don't think he did. This purpose. I'm going to put Eldritch Purpose. Yes. Phoebe feared David would go back to the surface, leaving her behind or otherwise ending the relationship. Milton explained that murder in the Neath need not be a permanent affair. Then Phoebe made an honest mistake through no fault of her own. She poisoned David by burning arsenic-laced candles, blah, 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 we know that. I think that works because... I mean, I thought it was like he wanted to... just when I scanned it, I thought it was that he wanted to see if death was still a permanent affair. Or not. I don't know what that's added, but I think it... Let's actually take that to Harjit and see what he says. But if he says, do we want to take this to court, we'll say no. But I'm interested to see what he says about it. You're looking well. I believe I know what happened and why. And what you're bringing me, you're sure of it? Don't bring me a story that you want to change. Whatever you bring to me, I must take to my superiors. Alright, we'll wait then. I think if I presented it to him, he'll just take it. On second thought, I understand. We could chat with him for a minute. For a moment, no one speaks. If you found your way to the surface, would you come back down here? Or would you count yourself well free of it? I'd never come back. I'd never come back. I don't know whether I would. There are too many questions not answered. What has become of things up there, and who is left for me down here? Time I continued my rounds. It doesn't help to watch the same place for too long. Consider whether there's more to know about Harjit. He has his own purpose walking the streets. Perhaps it is worth discovering how he spends his time. Yeah, we could follow him. We could maybe do that now. I want to put the wig on. Sorry, Archibald. Not Archibald. I've forgotten his name. What's his blimmin' name? Algernon, that's it. Flowers for Algernon, that's how I'll remember. Let's just try and be as... as unnoticeable as possible. Maybe the sailor's uniform would be better. Alright. Although you might wonder why a sailor's following him. It's fairly nondescript. Alright, let's actually trail Harjit. Incognito. Oh, we're going to the docks. I'll put the sailor costume back on them. So do nicely. Harjit won't recognise me at a distance, and I look like I belong on the docks. Do it. I follow Harjit at a distance for some time. He's not looking behind him. He doesn't notice me. Now he leaves the street and walks through a ruined building. A shortcut, perhaps, but there's no light inside. I guess we follow him. I wait until he is some distance in and follow. His footsteps sound before me, and something else sounds too, a sound like scuttling in the dark. Keep following. If Harjit is not losing his nerve, then neither am I. I'm standing now in the full dark of a ruined building. Harjit is ahead of me and I can see his silhouette. He's standing stock still, and in his hands is something, not a knife or a gun. From here it looks like a large ring, more than a hand's breadth in diameter. As I stand here watching, he spins it around his finger and throws it. There is a clang of metal striking stone, but he must have hit his target because the scuttling is silenced. He stands there listening. Nothing moves. Also do not move. I hold still. Then he bends, collects the ring, and wipes the edges of it with a kerchief. I wait until he's gone out into the street before I follow him. Finally, Harjit stops. He's found what he's looking for. He knocks 3 times on the door. A woman comes out to speak to him. Any word? It would be a man about my age, a couple of years younger. I can't hear her answer, but I can guess what she says from his replies. No one who's lost his memory or been injured so that he can't speak? Yes, I'm sure he was in London. We lived together until the fall. I see. Thank you. Send to me if you hear anything. The door closes and Harjit stands there looking at it for several moments. Then he speaks to no one alone in the dark. Oh, why did you bring me here, Lucien? Well, we know about Lucien from our first playthrough, but this is Hates-Love's first encounter with the name. It's getting late, so I'm heading back home. Straight to the dinner table in our wig and sailor outfit. Oh, no text today, we'll just clear up. Straight to sleep, I guess. It's not the most illuminating day, but we did progress things with Harjit's story there a little bit. We already kind of know the outcome. So I kind of want to do the rat thing, unless there's obvious stuff to do for the investigation. Morning papers. Today they read, Ministry of Public Decency bans printing of former London street names. Oh, okay. How do we get on with the hagiographies? I can't remember. Okay, maybe we'll take this to the priest today. Let's have a quick look at what sort of our options are for today. We don't have an option to sort of hand that in, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's take her the amber. I would quite like to see what's going to happen with that. I mean, but Barkjin won't be happy with this. Alright. Algie, back on you go. That'll do. Yeah, but Barkjin doesn't want me to give it to Ivy, but she's the only other. I think I bodged it with Ferret, so the only other thing I can do is give it to her. Oh, hello.
Now, that's not bad at all, is it?
What was she? I can't remember what voice I gave her now. Oh, Scouse, wasn't it? Oi, comrade, look at this. Ferret's lifted a few clocks and watches and dashed if the bloomin' rats didn't... I don't know why I said it that way. Bloomin' rats didn't christen them right up to sell again. And they keep a better time than they did before.
Well, he didn't steal that clockwork, by the by. It was brought in by way of some houses no longer in habitation, so to say. And you wouldn't want someone to see the marks on them and think they was nicked.
Just draw swift conclusions about the both of them.
What are you looking at?
Pointedly observe a chemistry between them, and I don't like it. Hold the amber. Could you take this for a moment?
What in the name of sanity? What is it? Is there perspiration or oil?
Truthful. Let's be truthful, and if she says no, then it's quest over. It comes from a man made of rubber who lives under London.
Wherever I thought we were going, that's not where I thought we'd end. Under London, you say? Like a man, but no. Tentacles and amber. Give ye here. I suppose it's no worse than a hatbox full of sick, which I have been asked to handle before. I can heartily recommend self-employment. It feels warm. I assume not from your mitts. Curious piece. It feels like it's friendly somehow. Like I'm meant to be touching it. I wonder how it works. Here, take it back.
We'll just thank her. Thanks for your help.
I've had worse requests. Though I do now have a powerful urge to wash my hands, or wipe them up on the next demanding grand dame who sweeps in here. Was there anything else?
Silence falls. Don't think we really need anything else she's got for sale. Let's confide in her. The conversation turns to personal things.
What do you love best about the Neath now that you've come here?
I admit to Ivy a truth I've hidden from everyone. I'm intrigued to see what I've got, so I tell her. I tell her the way the Neath has changed my life. The good things that wouldn't have been possible on the surface.
Don't worry, I'll keep that secret for you, free of charge. And I'm glad you told me. It was the colouring in your story. Ah, well, top of home for me.
My feelings are stronger than ever. I don't know what feelings are. I think I said I was friends with her before, so... Another errand. Well, maybe we go back and give the amber back to Batachikan. I'm going to put on my sort of customary coat now. I like the coat. There we go. Magnificent as ever.
Hateslove, it is good to see you.
Batachikan burbles a greeting as well. Mention the amber. You remember the errand you gave me?
If you have the amber with you, I suggest you return it. He might burst otherwise.
Return it. It has been held as requested. Batachikan grasps it as one would a pine cone. He makes a series of surprised honks. They suggest a new possibility has occurred.
The tenacity of the merchant is remarkable, as is her doggedness in pursuit of her ambition. Yet here is a grubby mercenary quality to it I cannot approve. Still, it puts any doubts to rest. Commerce in the city is nascent. The locals subsist upon a crude barter economy. The time is not right.
Batachikan emits a large, excitable warble. It indicates insistence.
Oh, right this instance? Forgive me, I need to evacuate the essences from the amber. I shall be back momentarily.
He makes a series of burbling squeaks, escalating in pitch, volume, and duration. Oh. given to understand that he sees London as a great marketplace. He continues to make energetic pipings, the origins of which are best left unexamined. I get the sense that he believes if everything was for sale, then it follows that his status as an outsider is too. He makes a percussive noise through the application of several tentacles into each other at studied intervals. Like that. I'm to understand that through the means of a commercial enterprise, he would find his way to the hearts of Londoners. He hopes that I might assist him in securing such a license. There are few authorities in London who could furnish such a thing. That was less viscous than previous. I knew that termagant at the market was of unwholesome character. I heard warbling while I was gone. Has Batachikan made his proposal then? He thinks it is time that he be introduced to one of the Khans, so that the lengthy process of rubbery emergence from the warrens can begin. The meaning is clear. This is not what he meant at all. Barkjin glances at me as though for support. We hoped, as the first person to encounter Batachikan in the city, that you would advise for him with the Khan of books. Advocate for him. It's no surprise that you're choosing me for this task. Makes perfect sense you'd ask me. No one else had the daring to find you, after all. Someone did fall in, actually. Their wheezing and gurgling was useful for discerning your language, but not in itself interesting. I kept my distance until they departed. But no one else was foolish enough to wander down here without guide or lantern. The rubbery men wish to re-emerge. It is best that the process is orderly so as to minimize alarm, and given legal sanction by the Khans of the Bazaar. As the first human to encounter a rubbery man, your voice will lend weight to our argument. As I say, the emergence will take years, decades perhaps, in the deepest reaches. But Tachikan makes an aggrieved honk. He need not wait. A shop of his own, now. Once permission is granted, we can return to the rest. Establish communion, commingle essences, perhaps even re-establish the old vats. But Tachikan makes a wheezy, deflated gurgle. He makes a forlorn second attempt. London is a market economy. One captures a market by finding a niche. What better niche than a shop in possession of a rubbery man? But Tachikan is eager to begin. It means we can both return to the deep places together. And prepare for the emergence, of course. They both look at me as though waiting for a response. I will ask Mr. Pages to help him establish a shop. I will help Batachikan open his shop. Nice. Batachikan makes a squeezed warble of delight. And leave me? Leave the rubberies waiting below, while you fritter away time on this distraction? I hope you are satisfied with your new interpreter. Batachikan makes a consolatory burble. Evidently my attempts to safeguard you and yours are no longer required. Surplus to requirements. I shall thank you for saving my life when the fourth city fell, and shall leave you to your new one, with its no doubt more exciting prospects. Batachikan lets out an aggrieved whistling hoot. We are hates love. Claim I can do a better job. I can translate as well, if not better. Batachikan makes a hoot that seems to suggest he is well aware of this, followed by a contented warble. Woo! I wish you the joy of each other, then. I trust we will not see each other again. London is a large place. I will not say goodbye. My breath has been wasted enough. I'm glad we did Milton before we did that. It's almost time to eat. I've worked up an appetite upsetting Barkjin. Straight to table. Oh, we seem to have used up all the... Because they've doubled the time available, it seems to have exhausted all the dialogue, especially as I got rid of the rid of Moss this time. Straight to sleep. And... Well, we'll do the headlines first. I'm the first of the morning paper. The headlines today read, Ministry of Accounting and Recounting revises marriage licence requirements. Shockingly permissive new law. Might be a good day to go and speak to Mr. Pages about that. But as for this episode, we're going to leave it there. So I'm just going to say thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Lots of intrigue, I think. Rubbery man stuff going on. Devil stuff going on. Lots of stuff in the Neath. Proper underneath Neath this time, which I thought was pretty interesting. Hopefully you did too. If you did enjoy it, then please do hit the thumbs up button on the video. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed, it would be amazing if you could do so. And with that said, I'll just say thanks very much once again, and that I hope to see you next time for more Mask of the Rose. Bye for now.